Have you ever been playing one of those free games on your phone and you just get this weird feeling in the back of your mind, a feeling that the game, which is supposed to be fun, is actually kinda evil?
You know, that's not just me saying that. That's a quote from Jonathan Blow, a really famous game designer. And I mean, evil is a pretty heavy word, right? But it just perfectly captures that uncomfortable feeling so many of us have had, that feeling that we're not just playing, we're being played.
But is it really that simple? Are there actual developers in dark rooms, plotting how to be malicious? To really figure this out, we're going to investigate the hidden machinery inside these games, and we'll be using some amazing insights from a PhD thesis on this exact topic by Jônatas Kerr de Oliveira.
So, how does it all work? Well, at the very heart of the free-to-play industry, there's a really carefully designed process. The best way to think about it is like a journey, or maybe a better word is a funnel, that developers want to guide every single player through.
Okay, so here's that funnel. It's the basic roadmap for pretty much every free-to-play game. First up, acquisition. That's just getting you to download the game in the first place. Then there's retention, keeping you there, making you come back day after day. And finally, conversion. And this is the part where they convince you to spend real money. For this explainer, we're going to focus on those last two, retention and conversion, because that's where things get really interesting and sometimes kind of manipulative.
All right, so let's start with retention. This part is all about building habits. I mean, once a game gets you to install it, how does it make sure you don't just forget about it? How does it weave its way into your daily routine?
Well, the first hook they use is often a really simple one, the daily reward. You've definitely seen this. All you have to do is log in every single day and boom, you get a little prize. It feels good, and it's a super effective way to build that habit of opening the app. This creates a really powerful feedback loop. As you can see here, the rewards actually get better and better the more consecutive days you log in. It's just classic positive reinforcement. The game is rewarding your loyalty. But, and this is a really big but, this whole system has a sharp hidden edge. What happens if you miss just one day? And this is where the psychology gets really clever, and frankly, a little dark. Psychologists have known for a while that the pain of losing something feels way more powerful than the pleasure of gaining that exact same thing. And some of these games, they're designed around that very principle.
You miss a day, and boom, your streak is broken. All that progress you spent a week building up is just gone. You're back to day one. But then the game offers you a lifeline. For a small payment, maybe some of those premium gems, you can restore your progress. And just like that, a system that felt like a fun reward has been flipped. It's now a punishment that you have to pay to escape.
So that's how they keep you playing. Now let's talk about conversion. This next part is all about how games create these very specific moments of frustration that, surprise, surprise, can only be solved with your wallet.
A lot of games will actually teach you how to spend money before you've even spent any of your own. They give you a free sample of their premium currency, and then, inside a mandatory tutorial, they force you to spend it to speed something up. The game is literally hardwiring that pay-to-progress behavior in you from the very beginning.
This leads to a concept that one free-to-play developer openly called fun pain. Yeah, you heard me right. These are artificial obstacles, like forcing you to wait hours for a building to finish, that are designed to be just annoying enough to make you feel that pain. They break your flow, they frustrate you, and of course, the solution is always just one click and one payment away.
And sometimes this fun pain can get genuinely uncomfortable. The thesis points to a pretty shocking example from the game Ice Age Village. You wait a really long time for an egg to hatch, you finally see the cute little baby animal, and then the game hits you with the choice: pay premium currency right now, or abandon the baby. It's a totally manufactured moral dilemma, and it's designed specifically to make you feel bad if you don't pay up.
And we see this kind of high-pressure tactic all the time. Imagine you're on a really tough level. You are one move away from winning, and you fail. But instead of just game over, you get an immediate offer. Hey, for just 9 gold bars, you can keep playing. It's a deal that's timed to hit you at your absolute peak moment of frustration, designed to make you pay to avoid the pain of that near miss.
Okay, so we've seen all these designs that feel pretty manipulative, pretty coercive, so let's get back to our big question from the start.
Does all this mean these designs are evil?
Now, the term most people use for these kinds of tricks is dark patterns. And it's a handy concept, right? It's a name for shady designs meant to trick users. But the thesis we're exploring argues that this label is actually too simplistic. Why? Because it automatically assumes that the designer's intention was to be malicious.
And this brings us to the real core argument of the thesis, which is a big shift in perspective. Instead of just labeling designs as evil and guessing what the designer was thinking, it suggests we should focus on something more subtle, the potential for coercion. It's not about the design pattern itself, but about how it makes a player feel in a specific situation.
So here's the crucial point, and this quote nails it. The coercive potential isn't in the design itself, it's in the context. So, that same daily reward mechanic can be a fun bonus in one game, but in another, where you're punished for missing a day and then asked to pay to undo it, it becomes highly coercive. The problem isn't the pattern itself, it's all about how it's being used.
So, if it's not always pure mustache-twirling malice, then why on earth do developers keep making these coercive designs? What's really driving all of this? The honest answer is that the mobile game market is just incredibly, brutally competitive. Developers are under immense pressure to make money. And a common way to lower your risk is to just copy what the most successful games are already doing. The problem is, sometimes they do that without fully understanding the coercive side effects of what they're imitating. And the app stores themselves create huge incentives for this to happen. When they feature a top grossing chart, it sends a really clear signal to all the developers out there. The games that get celebrated, the games that get visibility, are the ones that make the most money. This creates a powerful feedback loop that just encourages more and more developers to adopt these aggressive strategies.
So let's just sum it all up. We've seen how that free-to-play funnel works to get you in, keep you playing, and get you to pay. We've seen how retention tactics can turn rewards into punishments, and how conversion tactics create fun pain. But the real key takeaway here is that the issue isn't a simple checklist of evil designs, but this idea of potential coercion, which is all about context. And that context is often driven by massive market pressure, not just malice.
Ultimately, the point of all this isn't to just slap a simple good or evil label on these games. It's to arm you with knowledge. By understanding the machinery underneath, the funnel, the fun pain, the potential for coercion, you can become a much more conscious and informed player.
So the next time you open up a free-to-play game, you can ask yourself that question. Are you really playing the game? Or is the game playing you? And now you can decide for yourself when the fun stops and when the pressure begins. Thanks for joining this explainer.